It's extremely hot in Finland today, so it's a perfect weather to stay at home and blind test fragrances. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I have 10 fragrances handpicked by my husband. I don't see their names, there is only a number written on the paper. I will try to guess what kind of scent profile it is, what kind of notes are inside, is it a cheap or expensive fragrance, designer or niche, those kind of things. And inside those envelopes I have the answers. But you guys will always see the name of the fragrance, the notes, the bottle here on the screen. I did a couple of videos of this genre and it was so much fun. It's just such an exciting process to discover new fragrances without being affected by any extra information, the name of the brand, the notes and so on. This is how it all looks behind the scene. Fragrances all packed, I don't see their names. There are envelopes with answers inside, a glass of water. Then we have a cat. Hello. Let's begin with fragrance number 1. Oh, okay. That has to be niche for sure. There is such a strong woody, incensey, like masculine vibe in this fragrance. It can be incense, can be some smoked woody notes. Okay, I'm not like super experienced with incense. I don't like it on my skin at all, but I do think it's incense. Just, it actually smells a bit like bonfire. What is funny is that somewhere behind the smoke, I get something cold, sour, like citrusy notes. Something like a citrusy lemonade even. That's a weird experience. It feels like it fills the room. It's like you're all in the smoke of this incense. I don't like it, but I'm very curious. What is it here behind the smoke? Is it really some citrusy notes or jasmine? Maybe jasmine or something like that. Some freshness, like literally behind this cloud of smoke. Good start, pretty atmospheric fragrance. I think we can have a look. Let's have a look. And what do we have? Incense Avignon, Comme de Garcons, Series 3. I heard about this fragrance. Comme de Garcons, they do have this whole line of incense fragrances. I haven't tried any of them, so I'm glad to be introduced. I'm checking the notes from Fragrantica, so I was right, it's an incensey fragrance, of course. So what is it so cold and citrusy here? I have no idea. Can it be this chamomile, patchouli? There's a touch of vanilla in the base, but my nose barely detects any vanilla here. Usually, if there is at least a drop of vanilla, I can smell it. But here I don't. That's a churchy, very smoky experience. Ooh. Okay. Number 2. Fruity, floral, very girly. Possibly some designer fragrance. I mean, it's good. It's good. It's a little bit bubblegum even. I guess there are some notes of white flowers, maybe like jasmine, maybe a bit of tuberose, strawberry, something juicy, apple, maybe some berries, maybe, yeah, some cassis. I don't know, it's just so well mixed, blended like a fruity floral smoothie that, I don't know. I can imagine the pyramid of this fragrance to be a cocktail of different fruits, berries, juices, flowers. I like the fragrance, pretty nice. For me it smells like a summery, girly, youthful, beautiful fragrance marketed for women, possibly designer. Beautiful. You can imagine the girl in a pink dress or a white dress. Beautiful long hair, something super girly. It's nice, I like it. It has a good tablespoon of sugar in it. Like, it's sweet. very sweet. Some citrusy notes, maybe some woody notes like sandalwood, cedar wood, maybe a touch of vanilla or like sugary notes, something like that. Can be also orchid. Nice fragrance, nothing surprising, just a well-blended, delicious fruity floral composition. Let's go check the answer. And the answer is L'Interdit Rouge Ultime, Givenchy. Oh. I do have a sample of this fragrance. I was testing it last month. So now when I know what it is, I'm like, of course, this is L'Interdit line that I do like. Last time I described it as a femme fatale dramatic fragrance. Now when I smell it, it feels much more easygoing, girly. Let me see the notes again. The huge bouquet of white flowers, cacao, patchouli, tobacco. I'm a bit sad that I didn't guess this fragrance. Like, of course it's L'Interdit DNA. It was rotating in my head, but I didn't say it out loud. Anyhow, nice fragrance, beautiful woman, beautiful flowers. Yeah, let's move on to fragrance number 3. I hope it's gonna be something different. Oh. Oh. Ah, that's so fresh. Whew. My first impression, it's green, almost eucalyptus-like, minty. It smells a bit like toothpaste even. The more it develops, the more vintage cologne-like it starts to smell. It's fresh, it's soapy, and at the same time there is something spiky like maybe patchouli, aldehydes. It smells very crisp, a bit vintage, but very sophisticated. Usually this kind of harmony between clean and dirty, it belongs to more classic fragrances, something from 90s or even earlier. It's either a real vintage fragrance or like old style fragrance, or it is a contemporary one that pays an homage to something else from the past. It feels pretty clear, it's not heavy at all. Even the ambery note in here, it's pretty shiny, transparent. It's not what I normally prefer to spray on myself, but I don't hate it. To put it in words shortly, for me it's a green amber with some patchouli, with some grassy nuances, with floral notes. That's a tricky one. I do get a lot of notes in here, but I'm struggling to classify them. It is comforting. Somehow it's very peaceful. It does smell very high-end. For me, it's like a rich woman spending weekend in her expensive vacation house in France. Strange, but I like this fragrance. The more it opens, the more beautiful it becomes. Now I'm super curious, is it really the old fragrance or the contemporary interpretation of some profiles from the past? I'm super curious. I guess we can open the envelope now. What do we have is, oh, Jean-Louis Chasseur. I cannot read the name, but I will write it on the screen. Let's just call it Jean-Louis. Among the notes, green notes, aldehydes, yes. Amber, okay. There is a huge pyramid of different green floral notes, something animalic in here, civet. Some extra information. It was launched in 1979, so I can classify it as a vintage fragrance. But it's good. What do people compare it to? Sisley Eau de Soir. Okay, now I got it. Yeah, it is definitely very similar to Eau de Soir. I don't have it, but every time I see it, I come and spray it, and yeah, I like Eau de Soir. I like Sisley fragrances, almost all of them. They're so good. Yeah, I get the similarity now. It's a green amber, earthy oak moss. I think I did a good job. What do you think? It's beautiful. The more I smell it, the more I like it. Like, this is the power of vintage fragrances. If they're good, they're so charming that you can't stop smelling it. That's a good one. Okay, it's so warm in here. Fragrance number 4. Please be something citrusy. It's just so hot in here. No, that's not. Oh. Well, it smells so strange, so synthetic. It smells like the stationery shop. It smells like this pens, colorful pencils, some plastic. What? I heard one perfumer once saying that the overdose of natural ingredients can actually smell very synthetic. I don't know if this is the case or is it just a crazy conceptual fragrance, but it does smell very weird. Let's try to list some notes. I get something fruity. Fruits, but like turned ones, like this pulp that's so juicy and very sugary. Yeah, a bit like melon. When you cut it and you leave it on a table for a couple of hours, it starts to smell a bit disgusting, a bit turned. That's what I get in here. Like, it's not like a sugary fruits, but a bit more fresh fruits, more juicy cold fruits. I get some cosmetic or powdery notes, which is possibly iris or violet, but somewhere on the background. That brings me back to the stationery shop. Paper, graphite, plastic, all those kind of synthetic materials together. I think I get some spicy notes, maybe ginger or some coriander, those kind of fresher type of spices. This scent is so unusual that I think I shall quit listing the notes because I cannot guess anything here really. I will try to create an image of this fragrance. It is stationery shop, sunny day, big bright windows. It has the turquoise color, a bit of green, a bit of blue. It has very clean shelves full of branded, beautiful pencils, pens, paper. There are a lot of plants in this stationery shop. This interesting combination of freshness, of fresh air, some greenery, and this synthetic. The more I smell this fragrance, the more I think that this is actually an overdose of natural ingredients that plays in such a weird way. I can't wait to see what it is. Veni, Histoires de Parfum. I know the brand, I don't know this fragrance. The notes of this fragrance look so beautiful. Cardamom, lavender, ambergris, beautiful sweet base in here, galbanum. My description was so far from the whole ambience of this fragrance, but to justify myself, I guessed some spicy notes, I think. There is galbanum, which brings this obvious greenery freshness to the fragrance. There's also saffron. That's what brings me usually to this synthetic direction. It's okay, Melissa, you can sleep, you can sleep. The more I smell this fragrance, the more I like it, and I'm trying to imagine myself ordering samples online and seeing this kind of pyramid, I would definitely grab this fragrance. This is what I normally enjoy, and now when I have the full picture of this fragrance, the actual understanding, the idea behind this fragrance, I do like it a lot. It's so good. This thing is gonna dry down on the skin just the way I like it. I feel like the temperature is gonna warm up those spices in the most beautiful way, and this vanilla in the base. Very good one, I like it. It's maybe 8 on 10, the first impression. And oh my god, why did I say it smells like stationery? Fragrances are such a mystery. What about fragrance number 5? Maybe that would be some citruses. Oh please. Oh no. Smells like chocolate, praline, nutty, sweet, very, very sweet, very sugary, very chocolatey, very gourmand, a bit of boozy notes, some alcoholic notes, some rum. It's like those chocolate candies with some liquor inside. Actually very mouth-watering and delicious. That's interesting. It doesn't smell cheap for me. It smells delicious, but also very exclusive. It actually smells a bit like Christmas when you open all those chocolates, the candies, those caramel, I don't know, like lots of delicious things that children love, that everyone loves. That's a good one. Like, there has to be some vanilla, of course, maybe a touch of spicy notes, just to create this kind of holiday effect, this deliciousness of the fragrance, to emphasize it. Maybe some cinnamon, possibly. If it's a cheap designer fragrance or like a budget fragrance, I would be very surprised, because it's a gourmand, but such a fine-tuned one. I would imagine myself wearing it for special occasion, for an evening with family. It's in a way childish, but at the same time serious, a bit melancholic even. It's like a bridge between childhood and adulthood. It brings a smile on my face, but it has this dark side of it, the other side. Overall, very interesting, very atmospheric, delicious fragrance. Yeah, cacao, chocolate, everything caramel. Very nice and well balanced. Yes. Let's see. It's a Raspberry Rose Rapture Opus Oils. Never heard about that. Raspberry Rose Rapture, Rose Chocolate Raspberry Brandy. Alright, I guess the chocolate and the booze. Funny that I didn't detect any rose here or raspberry. I still don't get any. What I can say about this fragrance, it's very good, very nice, very delicious, and just right. It doesn't annoy you, doesn't make you feel sick. It's not too loud. I give it a big like. It's a successful one. Parfum numéro 6. I'm actually learning French at the moment. I had maybe 3 classes so far. The sample is broken, the sample is leaking. I have fragrance on my fingers, but we will continue, no problem. What do we get here? That's something sensual, sexy, again nutty, a bit gourmandish, some... here might be the rose. Here I get the rose. The floral notes in here are so heavy, so sensual. I don't get anything spicy or green. It's just this melted pot of rose petals, some other flowers. Everything is so jammy, so thick, so sexy. There are some darker notes, maybe like a tobacco, maybe a bit of coffee, just a touch of coffee. How I imagine this fragrance is some floral notes. It doesn't have to be many floral notes, but something very bright, very strong, and the dark base, very dark base with heavy wood, maybe a bit of oud, even a touch of oud, a touch of vanilla. I clearly get this nuttiness, like almond or hazelnut. It smells slightly different on the skin and on the paper. On the paper, it's definitely this blended, melted rose petals with hazelnut. But from the skin, I get a bit of greenness, artemisia, angelica, something aromatic. I prefer it on my skin than on paper. It speaks for itself. It's pretty appealing. It will get you compliments. It's big, beautiful, diffusive. For me, it's a scent of luxury woman with a broken heart. There is some drama in this fragrance. I think it's niche. I think it's expensive. It's niche, but it is made to sell. This is something that Kilian can do. Let's open. Let's see what we have here. It says Delicious Kisses, Haute Fragrance Company. Okay, yeah, it's a niche that wants to sell. Looking at the notes, I don't see any more beautiful woman with a broken heart. I see an actress who is actually very happy, but she likes to create a dramatic image around herself, because the notes, they're not dark at all. They're actually very happy. Raspberry, rose, papyrus, sandalwood. Everything is very beautiful, very elegant. Smells like delicious kisses. Sensual, sexy, beautiful, girly. Fragrance number 7. Dirty flowers, dirty citruses. Smells happy, bright, simple. Can be something budget-friendly or designer-like. I even suspect that the sample turned, that the juice inside is not fresh anymore. It doesn't smell very fresh at all. Or maybe it's a fragrance like this. What I get is the citruses, some pineapple maybe. Some pineapple, some green notes, grassy notes, a bit aquatic, a bit green. Overall, pretty disgusting fragrance. Despite being so dirty and sour, it actually smells very refreshing. It's cold, fresh, breezy. It's even breezy, aquatic, those splashes of seawater. Yeah, it maybe has some salty nuances, some drops of salt. It has a strange effect. What I feel is mostly like the top notes, the greens, citruses. I don't get any base here. There is no body in this fragrance. It's like a cloud of scent that is just passing by. I feel like this fragrance will slip away from your skin. I think exact citrus that I get here is lime. There might be some coconut even. I feel like lime and coconut, they often go together. It has a bit of tropical vibe, like exotic coastal bar. I don't know. It smells a bit sweaty, a bit salty, but again, maybe my sample just turned. I want to suggest that there might be some oak moss. I feel like it has a bit of this tingling effect that cheaper fragrances usually have. A bit of something sparkling inside, but it can as well be simply lime or ginger note. I don't know what else to say about this fragrance. I don't like it. Let's see what we have inside. Francesca dell'Oro, Irupe, aquatic fragrance with lots of floral notes. Did I say melon? I see lots of floral notes, sea notes, bay leaf, some spices, vanilla, oak moss. Oh, I think I was pretty correct. Wow! I still don't like it. I still find it disgusting. Oh, it's a dirty, dirty fragrance. Not my type of fragrance. I can hardly recommend it to anyone. It kind of makes me sick even. Let's move on to the next fragrance. We have 3 fragrances left. I hope I will find a gem among those 3 fragrances. Fragrance number 8 smells pretty cheap. Not very interesting, very headache-inducing. Some gardenia possibly, some white flowers. It's very feminine. It brings to my mind the image of school teachers. Possibly a designer fragrance marketed for women, something famous, something popular. Floral musky fragrance, some spices maybe as well, like a touch of spices. This is such a fragrance that you don't want to be next to, not in a public transport, not in your family. It's a fragrance that I want to run away from. There's possibly some patchouli in the base. There might as well be some berry notes, fruity notes. Ylang ylang maybe. Overall, it smells pink, but dirty pink. It has a bit of powdery notes, but overall smells pretty ordinary, pretty cheap. I feel like it used to be popular at some point, some years ago. But it's not a contemporary profile. Not many people would reach for this fragrance. It's something gone. But this is my personal experience. How I would describe it, skip it. Go for something else. You will find better fragrances on the market. Lots of headache-inducing flowers. I have to know what it is to never buy it ever. Simply Jill Sander Eau de Toilette Jill Sander. Okay, Simply Jill Sander. There are citruses, floral notes, violet, spices, leather, patchouli. I guessed a few things in this fragrance. Okay, powdery. It's definitely powdery, musky. Thank you. Next. Fragrance number 9. Oh my god, that's gonna be challenging. That feels like something very balsamic, aromatic. It smells quite foresty for me. The fragrance is not very diffusive, not very volatile. I feel like there are only a base note existing here, and it's pretty interesting. A bit of medicinal smell, pharmacy smell, something like a chamomile, but like fermented one. That's a good word, fermented. There are lots of fermented herbs. Pretty interesting. I get a bit of like old furniture smell in it, maybe some woody notes. Overall, it feels like a curiosity cabinet of a gardener with different species of plants, insects, all carefully collected, documented. There's like a bouquet of different natural elements in here. This heaviness of the closed space of the dusty room. It has very unique atmosphere. If it's not craft, then it's definitely a niche fragrance, mysterious message that it's hard to detect, hard to pick up any notes. The only thing I want to say is rosemary, olibanum, labdanum. Maybe my nose is getting tired, but I can only smell this fragrance when I put it very close to my nose. Like it's a fragrance that whispers, and it sits very quiet, very low, a very thick, dense fragrance. Interesting to discover, challenging to wear. I get a bit of sweetness, but it's such a natural sweetness. I have to see. Oh, now, immediately. Oh, raw silk and red roses, 4160 Tuesdays. Silk and roses has nothing to do with my description. Raw silk and red roses, patchouli, geranium, plum, peach, musk. I would stick to my description. For me, it's a curiosity cabinet with old wooden furniture. For me, it's very green, very herbal, very balsamic. It's like lots of different grasses imprinted, like melted in this balsam. And here we have rose, plum, peach, musk. The most confusing fragrance today. I will justify myself by saying that I mostly get patchouli and geranium in here. All the rest, not for me. Now we have our last fragrance, number 10. Is it gonna be a surprise? Let's see. Oh. Okay, the first thing I get here is Lily of the Valley. The most dirty white florals I have tried in a while. Very indolic, literally smells like toilet. Horribly disgusting fragrance. Yeah, it's Lily of the Valley, nothing else. Maybe some green leaves, some petals of jasmine. Give me a minute. This green side of those white florals. That exists in perfumery. Sometimes floral fragrances can go very green, and this is the case. I get a bit of aquaticness, aquatic feeling in it, some citrusy notes as well. I even get a bit of vegetal effect here, maybe some zucchini or cucumber, something fun. I don't like this fragrance. For me, it smells very much indolic, very like, it smells like poop quite a lot. Somewhere in the countryside. It just smells so poopy and so earthy also. Green, earthy, dirty. There is a bit of powderiness, but not like iris or violet sensual powder, but literally something like a pollen. Fresh grass, late spring, pollen in the air, dandelions, possibly niche, maybe some zoologist even. Very dirty, indolic. Oh, that's enough. Enough torture for my nose. What do we have here? Don't Tell Jasmine, Vilhelm Parfumerie. So it's jasmine. Unfortunately, there are not that many notes listed in here. Lemon, kir, jasmine, musk. Horrible fragrance. No. That was a fun journey, a very nice, pretty diverse selection of the fragrances. Let's make some conclusions. The nightmare fragrance is Don't Tell Jasmine, Vilhelm Parfumerie. I absolutely don't like it. The disappointment, Incense, Avignon. Why a disappointment? Because at least in my corner of the internet, among the bloggers, the perfume bloggers I follow, this fragrance has a very good reputation. It's pretty praised, like a beautiful incense, kind of like a top quality incense fragrance. But maybe I just don't like incense. The more I smell it, the more I realize that it's not my note. I love olibanum, the raw incense. That smells good for me. But when it's very smoky, I cannot wear it on my skin. Then the personal heartbreak is Rouge, Ultime. How come I didn't guess this fragrance? I tried it not long ago. One of the best discoveries from this whole set is Veni, Histoires de Parfum. I like the spicy notes and the floral notes, everything that was listed in it. It smells very good. I think it's the one I called the stationery shop that smells synthetic plastic and so on. It smells very good. I confirm it's beautiful, interesting. I just think that maybe my brain is melted with such hot weather. Also a bonus fragrance, Raspberry Rose Rapture, Opus oils. I didn't get much rose and raspberry, but I got this beautiful, delicious chocolate. That's it for today's video, 10 fragrances. Happy journey through all those different scent profiles. Nice discoveries, heartbreaking disappointments. I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.